Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the super, not funny show reviews. I am Jen Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And today we're going to be reviewing the 8th episode of Young Rock, entitled My Baby Only Drinks the Good Stuff. And of course that is coming to you from NBC, streaming on Peacock and on Hulu. So, was it good? Was it bad? And should you be watching? Stick around because I have opinions. If you smell what Young Rock is cooking. You know, a presidential candidate's life is just full of peril. Like, for instance, eating a Philly cheesesteak without the bread. How dare you, sir? Have you no shame? But, you know, The Rock's all about the protein. But he knows a blunder when he sees it. And he takes the time, as he's saying, I'm sorry for eating, a Philly cheesesteak without the bread. Please vote for me. While saying that, he says, you know what? There was a time I had to say sorry before, too. Let me talk about it. And that time was back when he was 15-year-old Dewey. Yes, that's right. We're returning to that era in Philadelphia. Well, not Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. 15-year-old Young Rock. He's a little bit wayward, but he had the hots for a girl and was trying to impress her and pretending to be rich. And, of course, working that gimmick, as his dad said. But unfortunately, he kind of messed up before by standing her up. Now he has to do even more, which is she wants to meet his parents, come eat at his place. Uh-oh. How are you going to square that circle, Young Rock? By working the gimmick, of course. Ask Dad what to do. Of course, Rocky's always got some sage advice about this. But, of course, he's having his problems with Ata because she's kind of mad that when he was out wrestling that he maybe went out partying when he shouldn't have been. And, of course, money's tight, all that stuff. It's the usual thing around their house at the time. So how's Rocky gonna fix things up, and how's Young Rock gonna fix things up? Well, first by trying to work that gimmick, as his dad said, work it even harder, which leads him, of course, to taking what I forget the girl's name, but taking his girlfriend, or the girl he wants to be his girlfriend, on a really disastrous date in his dad's Lincoln Town car, which I have to admit for that time was a pretty nice looking car. But he didn't want to take her to his house, so he takes him on this horrible date out in the dark, eating linguine and clams. For some reason, listening, I don't know why you would listen to someone who seems to have so little game talking about the aphrodisiac qualities of linguine and clams. Who knew that would fail? But also to go out, on an overlook point on a windy ass night with no lights out, it makes all the sense in the world. But at the end of the day, fine ass Karen, I think that's her name. Fine ass Karen, she just wants to meet his mom, his dad, see what they're like, and Dwayne, he can't just take her to his house because he's really embarrassed of it. So instead, he takes her to the mayor's house. She's like, that's the mayor's house. I know where it is. And he admits, hey, I'm poor. I just wear nice clothes and stuff. I'm just poor. And she lays on the guilt trip that, why didn't you trust me in the first place? Hint, you literally said you don't want to date anybody that's not rich. So why don't you give me a chance? The chance was there's no chance. Unless he didn't work the gimmick. Poor Rock, Young Rock, poor Dewey, not necessarily being able to get what he wants here. At the same time, Ata's kind of fed up with, not having the money, and Rocky, just sort of not really contributing a lot because of his wrestling stuff drying up. And she sort of, I don't want to say lays an ultimatum, but more or less says, hey, we're going to get evicted. What are you going to do? And what Rocky does is sells the beloved car because he loves his mom. He loves not love his mom because he loves his wife. He loves Dewey's mom. And sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. That's what he calls working. I think he said working the responsibility. And again, teaching a life lesson about saying sorry, taking responsibility, doing what you're supposed to. I won't say this was the funniest episode. It had funny moments. Just another one of those heartfelt episodes where a real message was being conveyed and really showing how The Rock grew up and his values came to, really be what they are today. I overall really liked it. Liked Young Rock. I liked his interaction with his friend Gabe. Those are all fun. And I also liked a little bit, which it was hilarious. Probably one of the funniest things was how he was, quote, being harassed by the football coaches, all who saw he's this big, tall, strong looking, stout looking guy, and they really wanted to play football. And it actually, because he's so, at one point he's so upset, and really, it really messes with his stomach. He has to go to the bathroom. He has to use the teacher's lounge bathroom and runs into the coach of the high school and really kind of disrespects the man in a bad way. But later on, because, this is the type of guy that, The Rock is, thanks to his upbringing, he goes and apologizes, man to man, face to face with the coach. And that leads him to being offered a chance to be on the football squad and maybe get a chance to, go to college, better himself, get himself out of the situation he's in because they live in a poor part of town. It's all very nice. It's nice to see, how much of this is true, how much is a little dramatization. I don't know, but it does really weave a very interesting story about how someone can become the person that The Rock is. They have the work ethic and the kind of the moral compass that he does. And of course, it's because of the people that he grew up around, all of the influences from his family to the coaches to the wrestlers that his dad worked with. All very nice. Really enjoyed this episode. This is the sort of stuff that I think makes this whole show very strong. Just the fact that it isn't just about the laughs and everything; those are definitely there. It's also about the heartfelt moments, the emotional moments, the growing, the way that young Rock grows up every episode. That's what we need from a show like this. So that's what I felt about this episode of Young Rock. You guys should be out there checking this show out. It's really awesome. So what do you guys think about this episode, and what do you think about my review? Why don't you hit me up down in the comments and let me know. Of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1, and we could chop it up, talk about more Young Rock. Where is this going to the end of the season? Will Rock of 2032 become president? We don't know. We shall see. And hey, my question is this show a stealth presidential run for The Rock? Stranger Things, right? We shall see. In the meantime, are you subscribed to the Super Not Funny Show? What? You're not? What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, join the Super Not Funny Show family, and hit that notification bell so they'll let you know when we drop new content, and we do that every week. New reviews, new reactions, anything else that floats our pop culture boat, like the new Invincible cast, where we talk about the animated show Invincible. You want to come around and check that out. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining me for this review of Young Rock. Come back next week as I review yet another episode of this show. Until then, I've been Jen Thépuppét, your resident Fabricant and commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.